Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's daily recap. I'm going to kick it off here with a special announcement. We are launching the T3 Live Options Intensive program. This is a 6-month training program for those that want to take their options trading to the next level in conjunction with Doug Robertson, who is going to run this for us. Doug has hedge fund experience, and in this program, it's designed in a very special way, highly intense. You're going to get to operate as a trade manager, a risk manager, and a researcher. It is a limit of 15 people only, so Doug can work, hand in hand. So if you're interested, I think it's going to be probably one of the most unique opportunities that we've ever presented in terms of training. It is by application only, and you can find out more information at t3live.com/options-intensive. T3live.com options intensive. So we're really excited about that, and you'll see more of that in the days and weeks to come. Now let's talk some stock and some market here. Market pulling back a little bit today. Very, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Saw a little bit of a slowdown here on Wednesday, and then Thursday and Friday we've seen this very shallow pullback. The 8-day here in blue line has basically been our little bit of a proxy for support. This pullback occurring at the 8, and then late last week, the Friday's breakout, we broke out from basically that level. So, today's close basically on the low of the day. Could this set up for further decline? It could. It still remains to be seen. If we flip over and look at a weekly chart, over the last 3 weeks, we've seen a nice move. I talked about this early in the morning call, into those tail highs where the market may, again, want to digest here. Bigger picture, maybe a 2 or a 3 week pullback or some, consolidation. If this market is going to go higher, it wouldn't surprise me to see a little bit of a pullback. You have this nice basing pattern here. A little bit of a pullback could set up again, another upside move. So, as we approach next week and the week after, I wouldn't surprise me if trading became, I'd say, a little more non-directional in a sense where we did get maybe, a few days of some back and forth price action. So that could mean we could pull back here to the 21-day around 208.5 in the spot. So I think there's definitely some room to probe lower. We have this breakout high right here. The market could certainly come back in, test into this level, and bounce around for a little bit of time. So I would keep an open mind going into next week in terms of just general market action. Apple has been, a widely watched stock in terms of both active trading and market direction. As Apple has rallied over the last few weeks and rallied hard, obviously that got the market in gear, among many other names that have, I think had some pretty strong moves post earnings. But Apple, obviously the largest market cap overall. So Apple found its high. I talked about that this morning. As far as today goes, we saw a little bit of a pop off the pullback yesterday, but today sellers stepping back in. No real damage being done as the trading was relatively light today, as it's been for the better part of the entire week. So there really wasn't much change today. We talk about some leadership. We got to talk about biotech. Here's IBB. Biotech, for the better part of the week after rallying. You can see volume has definitely picked up a little bit as we've kind of, found a little bit of resistance up in this level. This is still a very bullish looking chart as it's, built this upper range, and any break higher next week could spell more, more upside here. So I would keep an eye on this this price action. You can see volume, rising a bit as we rallied. Volume was pretty low and pretty stagnant. As we, kind of peaked up here over the last couple of sessions, you've seen, an increase, an uptick in some volume lately. So, keep an eye on biotech names as well, as those have been, nothing short of phenomenal and continue to act very, very well. That being said, like I said, it was a very, very quiet day. Banks, some other notable, let me just get rid of these. We looked at banks. We'll look at the XLF. not much doing here. Banks have kind of been back and forth. Some stocks that have acted well. Goldman, pulling back a little bit today. And over the last week, it's been a little, back and forth in this general range, but still very constructive bullish price action here. Could we, get another pop to test into these highs? Absolutely. It might need a little more time before that develops, but whether this is just a retracement off of this upper level here, meaning we sold off and we have this deep retracement that then turns back down, or we can build some sort of range in here from where we pop to the upside. I think time will tell, and I would watch closely over the next, like I said, week or two how if we get any relative strength clues here relative to versus the market. So I would watch for what shows leadership over the next week. Could be a very good tell as to what potentially could come after that. I talked about Facebook this morning. Facebook, if you look at the weekly, the weekly is really the story here. Facebook, still in this this range as it's been in for many, many months at this point, going back to mid-September. Obviously back into resistance and coming off a little bit today. This is an area that it's trying to build energy. Obviously, the longer it sits up here, the more bullish it becomes if and when we get that clean breakout. So I would watch, again, going into next week, keep an eye on Facebook for some clues on how it holds up. We'll go back to the daily. So you had this rally over the last 5 or 6 days. Sellers coming in today as it sits in a pretty substantial resistance, zone up here. So I think how it builds over the next, 3, 4, 5 days will be a tell as to a potential, potentially more upside there. So, just a couple of names I think to think about over the weekend. Obviously, Scott will be back Monday with a lot more, color and commentary and a whole longer laundry list of names. But as we look at the week, it was a pretty quiet week, a strong week, not much selling going on. So you have to respect, what the tape is doing. And like I said, a little bit of a pullback or some more consolidation at these levels would support the bullish argument that we're, this market's setting up for, again, another push higher. Hope everybody had a nice weekend. Again, remember, we're launching Options Intensive. It's by application only, so make sure you check out the landing page, T3 Live /options-intensive. I know that Doug's really excited about this program, as am I, as I really do think it's going to be one of the more unique opportunities for those that are interested in trading options or want to take their options, like I said, to a different place. And Doug is certainly the guy to do it. So keep your eye out for that, or check out the landing page. All right, everybody. I hope you had a wonderful weekend, and we'll talk next week. Enjoy.